जब वो ऐसे दूर से खड़े होते हैं गोली मारने के लिए स्नाइपर लगा के सत्यम की मशीनरी, सत्यम की ऑफिस के ऊपर, जब सत्यम एक कंपनी थी डूबी नहीं थी राजू रामलिंगम के चक्कर में, याद है किसी को वो सीन? वो वहां से खड़ा होता है, कोक का कैन लाके रखता है, पूरी स्नाइपर असेंबल करता है, निकलने वाला होता है, एकदम जादव भाई आते हैं। बाय द वे रियल टॉप जी जादव भाई, तुम क्या एंड्रू टेट के चक्करों में पड़ रहे हो? रियल टॉप जी इज जादव भाई ब्रो। इफ यू डोंट नो हु जादव भाई इज यू कैन लीव द स्ट्रीम। मेरे को फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता, यू आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट टू मी इफ यू डोंट नो हु जादव भाई इज। जादव भाई कहते सूर्य भाई लगता है कोई दूर से आपको टपकाने के लिए आया है। फिर उसके पीछे वो लोग जाते हैं और वो ऐसे कह रहा होता है कमॉन कमॉन, जो गोरे सी शक्ल का आदमी होता है ऐसे दिखाते हैं कि ये विदेशी है। याद है? किसको पता है ये? किसको पता है ये रेफरेंस? मूवी तेरे को पता है रेफरेंस? जादव भाई, एवरी बॉय क्राइड व्हेन जादव भाई डाइड।
मेरे को नहीं पता इसलिए मैं जा रहा हूं।
तू जा यहां से, दरवाजा बंद कर दे और आज से ऑफिस मेरा है। खत्म, ये जमीन तेरी नहीं है, अब से मेरी जमीन है। भाई दरवाजा तो बंद कर दे। कैसे मेरी बातें सुनना चाहता है?
फरीदाबाद का नेचर है, कब जाना?
Yo! Okay, so before we begin, I want to ask you a question because मैं तुम्हें गाना तो सुनाऊंगा। देखो आज की स्ट्रीम में तो वैसे भी now would be a good time to insert ads. YouTube तू मेरे को ad का पैसा देता नहीं है, बोल मत फालतू का। Insert a good time to ads, insert whatever. समझ रहे हो? Done number one, you got it right. So अब मैं तुम्हें गाना तो सुनाऊंगा। I'm going to the song has to happen, my G's. Whether you are top G or bottom G, the song has to happen, my G's. So I'll give you two options. I'll give you an option between a good song, an actual good song, मेरा न्यू ईयर एंथम जो मैंने कल रात को अपने न्यू ईयर पे सुनने के लिए अपना मूड और अपना पेस और अपनी वाइब और अपनी मेलोडी सेट करने के लिए, और आई विल शो यू एंड्रू टेट्स रैप सॉन्ग। विच वन डू यू वॉन्ट? विच वन डू यू वॉन्ट? आई एम सीरियस। फिरोज क्या बोलता है वो? मौत से डरने वाले जो सर पे कफन बांध के घर से निकलने वाले मौत से नहीं डरते। यस तेरी जबान बहुत चलती है सूर्या। Yeah, what's up, what's up? Trifecta after the fourth is happening for sure. For sure it is happening. Okay, actual good song or Tate song? You can write one or two. First one, you want to listen to an actually good song, but this is okay. This is techno, guys. This is techno. You know what? We can listen to an actual good song any day. Let's listen to Tate song. Let me look up Tate song. Bro, Preet says, I'm fat, no self-respect, tired of just failing in my own eyes. I know things to transform, but consistency is missing with the distractions around. Tips, bhai, also wish me luck, bro. I do not have a tip, but इस 200 रुपए को तू अभी अपने हाथ में बांध के रख ले, इसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेके रख ले प्रीत. When I come out with the product on the 4th, I'll give you a 200 rupees discount. Actually, 200 rupees discount on that because of this super chat. The product's exactly meant to solve this problem. This is exactly what we're trying to do, right? So today we'll focus on what we're supposed to focus on. Thank you for your super chat. I love you. By the way, don't worry too much. For now we need to get to Andrew Tate's song. Okay, then we'll go to Andrew Tate's song. Hasing Balam Thanedar. Wait, okay. दूसरे वाले गाने का नाम भी नहीं बताऊंगा तुम्हें. One sec. I think I found it. I think this is it. Guys, tell me if this is not it. Okay, hold up. क्या बिल्कुल इन्होंने वो डाल रखा है अपने इनके पीसी में. Let's also get the captions going. Hit Human. You should review this song, bro.
Suicide, Kurt Cobain, McLaren 720, but it sound like a plane. When I'm on the road, stay in your lane. Beat getting killed like a shot to the brain. Suicide, 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 suicide. Let's do or die, do or die, do or die. Go, no hope. I was broke, did it dirty, no soap. I was gonna write a suicide note. Yo,
this is like YouTube rappers जिस तरीके से करते हैं ना. YouTube, अरे एक YouTuber है वो बोलता है भाई अब मैं रैप निकालूंगा, ये उस लेवल का रैप है भाई.
Making suicide notes, bang it out, bang it out. Kill the game, I don't wanna hang about. White chicks, no doubt. Kind of money made these hoes wanna shout, so bounce with me, bounce with me. Got my brother in the gang sipping in the house with me. To ride for me, die for me. Put your fucking hands in the sky for me.
Yo bro, I feel bad for Tristan Tate because बकवास एंड्रू करता है, सारी बकचोदी एंड्रू करता है, but भागीदारी की punishment ट्रिस्टन को भी मिलती है.
That's me, Big Daddy T-A-T to the E. Money on my mind every day, every night. Mess with me and you're committing suicide, that's right. Your suicide, Kurt Cobain. McLaren 720, but it sound like a plane. When I'm on the road, stay in your lane. Beat getting killed like a shot to the brain. Suicide, 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 suicide.
Bro, किस रैप गाने का नाम सिर्फ suicide होना चाहिए bro? ये क्या हो रहा है भाई?
It's do or die,
कितना?
do or die.
You know, the point of opening with this song is exactly this, Shivashish Garg, that the guy is as cringe as everybody else you know. The guy is as cringe as everybody else you know. That's the whole point. I'm trying to humanize the fellow so you can look at him as a proper person before we begin talking about him.
Do or die.
Make them wanna lose their mind. When they see the money, wanna roll with the gang. They're coming two at a time. And they just wanna ride cause they love the way we shine. But I still remember days we used to struggle on the grind. That's the reason why I'm never swallowing my pride. Try to stop us, that's a straight suicide, suicide, that's right.
Bro, the number of times the song said suicide, bro, what the hell?
Nowadays, we're getting paid. We throw money, you throw shade. Kicking down the door like police in a raid. Haters wanna talk, we just dig another grave. No joke, free smoke, supermodels, deep throat. Wave while you're struggling to float. Still setting sails, might buy myself a boat.
So the whole song is about how he's better than the rest of the world. Is that what the song's about? That's kind of sad. Imagine if somebody's like कि इसको किसी ने challenge दिया था एक दिन में गाना बनाने का. Imagine if a guy takes one day to write a song about how he is so much better than everybody else. That is your ideal man? Come on, bro.
Or a yacht, I'm too hot. 25 bottles when I step up in the spot. Tied up, you're not. With the G's, putting G's in the pot. That's me, that's me. Big boss is Mr. Plenty. I've been trying to shine since 1999. Mess with me and you're committing suicide, motherfucker. Your suicide, Kirk.
Yo, dude, I can't do this anymore. Okay, let's go talk about some shit, man. Okay, first of all, तुम्हें मैंने I have sent you 1 second. Check. Yep. Hello. हाँ, मेरे को आवाज़ आ रही है मेरी. I have sent all of you guys. What have I sent you? एक मैंने लिंक डाल रखा है अपने इस पे pinned लिंक है चैट में. You can see it right now. जहाँ पे आप you can put down the videos you want me to react to because we'll be reacting to some of Andrew Tate stuff. By the way, my stream is sponsored by EGI Gaming. No, it's not. EGI is मेरे friends चलाते हैं EGI. तो ये उनके PC पे कर रहा हूँ तो ये transition कैसे हटाते हैं मेरे को आता नहीं है. तो मैं तो एंड्रू टेट से भी बड़ा क्रिंज निकला ब्रो. ओफ फक, मैं कितना क्रिंज हूँ ब्रो. भाई कोई बंदा कह रहा है पहले उसके लेवल का हो जा तब हंसना. ब्रो ये सेम आर्ग्यूमेंट मैं तेरे पे मारूँ मेरे बारे में तो दैट्स नॉट हाउ द वर्ल्ड वर्क्स ब्रो. तेरे को अलाउड है अपने कमरे से मेरे पे हंसना, मेरे को अलाउड है अपने कमरे से एंड्रू टेट पे हंसना. बात की वैलिडिटी होनी चाहिए. वो तो कुछ नहीं होता भाई. आओ. Oh, it's read only. It's not an editable doc. इसको editable कैसे बनाते हैं? रुको. Okay, a lot of people are here. Let me just figure out how you can edit on this. I'm trying to work this out, guys. Oh, any okay. Editor. Got it. I just put the editor thing on so you can. हाँ, ठीक है. I've given you access to the doc. Don't worry. रोने की जरूरत नहीं है. भाई तुम vlog क्यों नहीं डालते bro? क्या मैंने 10, 12, 15 vlog डाले, जितने भी vlog डाले उसके बाद ना मैं थोड़ा overexposed feel कर रहा था. Plus, I was tired trying to build those vlogs and do all of that. So I stopped them for a while. Then the whole media situation happened starting May. And then things were a little awry, idhar-udhar chali gayi. Now I have to decide what I want to do and what I don't want to do. I want to be specific with what I show. Right? Vlogs us direction mein le jana was a very party, very active, very let's go lifestyle that I cannot manage all the time. I can manage it sometimes, especially if I'm looking to build. Samajh rahe ho? So I was like, I'll be careful with what I post now. 1, 2, I want to be more specific with what I show and how I lead my life, right? So you'll see some of the vlogs come in and out, but I haven't decided specifically how many vlogs I want to do in 2023, kab karunga, etc. So we'll get to that. Chodo usko. Shelf it. Today there is more important things to talk about. And one of those things is Andrew Tate. So we'll begin by talking about Andrew Tate, okay? Bro, Part Time is way better. Part Time is also one of his songs. OnlyFans. OnlyFans is probably the right place to do my vlogs. You're right, my bro. हाँ भाई अंशुमन, इसका मतलब तू भी मेरे पे हंस सकता है ब्रो. तू कितना ओरिजिनल है ब्रो. तूने मेरी ही स्टेटमेंट को मेरे पे बोल दिया ब्रो. वाओ अंशुमन, वाओ. वो एक चैंपियन चैट का. Oh yaar, is the background too white? Do you want me to change the saturation on it? I'm sorry if that is the case. I'm really just figuring this shit out, man. Let's see. मैं इसकी प्रॉपर्टीज में जाके थोड़ी सैचुरेशन लो कर सकता हूँ. बट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक थिंग्स वर्क. आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक थिंग्स वर्क, यू नो. इट्स नॉट. ऑल्सो दिस इज आई एम नॉट वेरी गुड एट दिस शिट, यू नो. कॉन्फ़िगर वीडियो. मैं ब्राइटनेस थोड़ी कम कर सकता हूँ. कॉन्ट्रास्ट थोड़ा बढ़ा सकते हैं. भाई अच्छा नहीं लगेगा यार. रुको मैं करता हूँ कुछ. The background is too American. भाई घर ही हूँ यार, फरीदाबाद हूँ यार. Shit, I should have been wearing something darker and it would have worked better. Let's see. Trying to work this out, guys. फिर we'll start talking. Nah, I can't do shit here. If anybody understands video enough and wants to help me out, make the background better, I'm here. Okay, should we talk? Contrast reduce करूँ. Technical Prakhar ji. Okay. Bro, I'm 18, also from Faridabad, overthinking over small things and feeling lonely and mentally exhausted all the time. What should I do? You're overthinking because you're trying to solve a puzzle that's not solved in your head. That's why you overthink. Your mind revisits it because it's trying to solve a problem. Look, I appreciate you sending me all this stuff, but we'll never get to talk about Andrew Tate if this keeps happening. And that's what I'm here to do. So ask yourself what that puzzle is. The way to do that is take a pen and paper, write about it. It'll appear in front of you. This is what it is. It might take days. It might take several attempts. But eventually you will begin to piece the puzzle together and be able to locate exactly where you're missing a piece. And then be like, इस piece को मेरे को कैसे जोड़ना है is up to me. That's how you solve him. ठीक है? Okay. Okay, there's so many opinions about Andrew Tate already. Let me see. Are the links coming in? Oh shit. Guys, एक बात बताओ. इस how the hell? This was a bad fucking decision, guys. This was such a bad decision. This was such a bad decision to let you tell me what links to use, because let me show you what this looks like. Okay, give me a second. Let me show you what this looks like. This is so hilarious, guys. तुम साले बदतमीज हो. ये देखो. This is what the dog looks like right now. This is literally what the dog looks like right now. This is masculine chaos at its finest, guys. कैसे करूँगा मैं react यार? How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to do this, huh? No. Policy change. You'll just tell me the name of the... Shit, bro. तभी लोग ये Discord पे करते हैं. लौड़े का सरकार कोई copy paste कर रहा है. No, I'll just pick myself then. Fuck you guys. तुमसे नहीं होगा ये. You won't be able to manage this. We'll just do it myself. Okay. Anyway, let me start looking. We'll just go over Andrew Tate and whatever comes shuru mein, we'll just start watching that. But it's important to talk about Andrew Tate because he's such a phenomenon at this point. It's not simple what Andrew Tate has ended up becoming, right? So there is him getting arrested, which is fairly interesting, where my opinion is that it is surprising to me how many people are thinking that this is conspiratorial. The idea, well, by the way, that means he won. If you guys think this is a conspiracy, he won. He convinced you that the Matrix is after him. Well, let me deconstruct that argument. As far as I'm concerned, one, I don't think the Matrix is after him. I think the Matrix, when he says the Matrix is fairly real, you can make the case कि एक sense में there is something called mainstream narrative, gated institutional narrative, like Eric Weinstein would put it, where institutes dictate what you must think, and it is how politics, media, social media, news media, कल इसको कल्चरल हेजिमनी है ये बेसिकली. याद है कल्चरल हेजिमनी हमने डिस्कस किया था. देयर इज अ सर्टन वे इन विच कल्चर makes you think and wants you to act. And I agree, Greta Thunberg is pretty much part of that. But it's not conspiratorial to that degree. And I don't think anybody bothers with Andrew Tate at that level. Look, I will also give you some basics here. I have a very complicated opinion on Andrew Tate. Bro, this fucking thing needs to go away. This shitty EGI वाला. ऐसे मैं कैसे करूँगा? रुक जाओ, ये रहा ट्रांजिशन है ना, ये रहा. कट ब्रो, सिंपल. देखें क्या होता है. हाँ, हो गया कट. ठीक है, सही कर दिया मैंने. OBS चैंपियन प्रखर. हाँ, I think him getting kicked out of platforms was bad, but I think that's how platforms deal with small fry. That's how platforms deal with small fry. They dealt with him like he was a small fry. If you notice, I don't see any huge attention being given to him except the Piers Morgan attention that came to him. I don't think he's big enough to piss off elites to the degree they will risk such a public arresting of him because he pissed off Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg's a problem in her own way, in my opinion. But Andrew Tate is not taken in by the matrix. Imagine the fact that हम लोग इस लेवल पे मान चुके हैं कि वो तो बुरा आदमी हो ही नहीं सकता यार. कि वो तो बुरा आदमी हो ही नहीं सकता है. कि उसका इससे पहले वाला धंधा था was managing OnlyFans models. ब्रो, क्या कर लोगे तुम इस डॉक्यूमेंट पे? गॉड इज डेड. ये डॉक्यूमेंट पे अलग केओस चल रही है, नीचा चल रहा है भाई. कोई संदीप महेश्वरी की बायो डाल रहा है इसमें. ब्रो, क्या केओस चल रहा है. करते रहो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. एनीवे, इमेजिन ब्रो, उसका इससे पहले का काम था मैनेजिंग ओनली फैंस मॉडल. उससे पहले वो सेक्स कैम वाले काम चलवाता था यार. द फैक्ट दैट पीपल आर विलिंग टू ट्रस्ट हिम इज ब्लडी इनसेन टू मी. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, I don't think there is a conspiratorial angle. And then, आज मैं अपने friends से I was discussing about this. The very fact that people will come around and say something like, you are just envious that he can get away with it is so interesting. कि लोग legitimately उसके lawyer बन चुके हैं bro. People will literally fight for him in his language while he's in court or while he's in jail. Looks like I'm very fond of the court. Look at what he's tweeting from. It's we'll get to the whole thing. Okay. प्रखर भाई, आपका न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशन क्या है? आज नहीं, 4 तारीख को बात करेंगे न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशन के बारे में बेटा. शॉर्ट्स में जाके देखते हैं अपने शॉर्ट्स में एंड्रू टेट का.
They've already given me quite a few warnings, and I'm now at the point where I actually truly believe they're going to try and kill me. I understand.
So this is one of the more convincing things that's been going around from his side, right? Ki they might kill me. What if he just knew he's near the point where public prosecutions after him, bro? Ki police uske piche hai. Because he did like, I'm saying this means nothing. This means nothing to me. This is a very common video, by the way, that's been floating around.
That you get 3 strikes in this game. Strike 1 is they try and shut you up and discredit you.
Which I agree, he should not have been banned of social media.
Strike 2 is they try and put you in jail for no reason.
Today arrested again.
And strike 3 is they kill you.
If they kill me, I love you all. Fuck, bro, so intense. I'd be surprised if here's what I'll say. Andrew Tate, brilliant delivery on shit. Here is also what I will say. I don't know for sure, but it just does not sound real, bro. It all sounds like the fact that he continues to use the word matrix over and over, the fact that he'll bring in God into this suddenly. So all sounds very like...
You're 28, so I lost my father when I was 27, 1 year younger. My friend, you did not lose your father. Your father did his job. He raised you to be an adult, and now he's gone. I did not lose my father. Children lose their fathers. There are people in Ukraine right now and Russia losing their fathers because they are children. My father did his job. I got past 18 years of age. Everything else was a bonus. The rest of the years, the other 9 years I got were an absolute bonus. And you kept him till you were 28. You did 1 year better than me, but you didn't lose your father. I'm telling you, you lost a man who you would have liked to have around, but was always going to go before you. So listen.
Oh shit. See, that is why these guys are also great, bro. क्या बात बोली है, bro. Fuck yeah, bro. Hell fuck, क्या बात बोली है, bro. भाई मूड बना दिया, bro. Tristan Tate. GG's, bro. GG's, my boy. क्या बात बोली है, bro. ये जो उसने लास्ट में बोला है ना, you did not lose your father, you lost a man who you would have wanted to have around for a longer while, but you did not lose your father. This is literally calling you to become an adult. Wow, bro. GG's. This is what these guys are doing right in a certain way. They're fixing the narrative around masculinity to some extent. To some extent, they're doing a very good job at fixing the narrative around masculinity. One cannot hate these guys for saying this kind of shit. What a fucking point. And this is why a lot of the criticism against Andrew and Tristan falls flat, because the criticism is it's so single-worded, it's not sophisticated enough. देख भाई, ऐसा है, तू पब्लिक से बात कर रहा है, ठीक है? एक तरफ से ये लोग बात करते हैं, अपनी डिटेल देते हैं, ये डिटेल देते हैं, किसी के दिल पे लगती है, आदमी कहता है यस, क्योंकि वो आदमी भी चूतिया नहीं है जो कह रहा है यस. दूसरी तरफ से मिसोजिनी, यहां कहता है आदमी ओके. You've not tried hard enough. You've not articulated the against stance against these guys properly enough. It does not touch any hearts, so it does not cause any change. They're still the most Google motherfuckers on the planet. That is the reason. Because they actually put heart into their words. At least to this degree. Not universally. They do some really bullshit. कुछ चीजें तो completely gibberish है, उस पे भी हम आएंगे. We will automatically get into that. There is no way you can have a singular opinion on the Tate brothers or Andrew Tate. You can have, अच्छा ठीक है, aggregate पे मैं ये feel करता हूँ, but bro, they're complicated creatures and some of the shit they do is great. What a fucking thing to say, man. I'm not a Tate fanboy, bro. I started this stream by dissing him. Today's one way you learn. The title of the stream is dissing him, bro. Shut up.
How long you been friends with Ray?
Steven Seagal himself, the Aikido master, has given me a hand hardener. He said I have to punch this at least 1,000 times a day. So, it is punching wood. It does hurt. My new training.
Discipline. That's what you learn from this shit. Facing voluntary pain. That's what you learn from this shit. And you see the bodies, bro. Media level पे तो बहुत बाप खेलते हैं लोग.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and say...
Accountable for what? Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Yes, bro. Your natural evolutionary biology is also to murder people. You idiot. This is the problem. We discussed this a long while ago when we were speaking about Tate as a biological thinker. Yes, of course, but let's listen to the whole thing.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes!
Look at him smile. This is the marketing plug. This is where Tate is a complicated person in a bad way. The fact that he would use this to market himself. The fact that he would let women feel this way to market himself. To sell to young boys his message. The fact that he would use this is what is wrong with Tate. You should get that also. Of course it is not morally right. If you are in a binding agreement where the explicit or the implicit terms are that I will not cheat on you, and if you cheat on them and you say, oh, this is just my biology, that's the dumbest, the least masculine argument you can have. The least masculine. Where is the virtue of grace? Where is the virtue of honor and nobility? That is the problem with Andrew Tate.
How can you say that?
And look at these women fall apart trying to argue with him. You are not doing a good job. Look at this.
You're okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not. That's
Look at him co-opting God to sell himself. This is the problem with Andrew Tate. It's not just misogyny, it's weaponized misogyny. It's not just Islam, it's weaponized Islam. Or religion for that matter. And all of it is weaponized for a marketing push. The fact that he would use this to become famous is the worst part about him. You can use so many things to become famous. I don't have, say, the same amount of respect I have for him as I have for Logan Paul. Logan Paul maybe a little less. But Logan Paul, maybe this is a bad example. This is a hypothetical. This is not real. This is not my true feelings. But Logan Paul did not weaponize how people must treat women and how people must relate to God to become famous.
No, because it's a wrap when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There has not been in the history of humanity across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female ever. You name the biggest conqueror emperors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology.
That's biological. But this is called biological determinism. Things have been this way, therefore they should be this way. What has also happened, Andrew Tate, is that all these motherfuckers ended up dead. Also, what has happened is that their sons fought for their inheritance till the point all of them were dead. Also, what has happened is that we've replaced conquerors with politicians. Is that also okay? Just because things have happened a certain way, which is the naturalistic fallacy, does not mean they should continue to happen that way. Well, the point about sexual economics in an evolutionary fashion and how that shapes attitudes is roughly correct. The extrapolation, which is basically a promiscuous female, makes it very risky for a man to know if the child being born out of a promiscuous female is his. And so there is some evolutionary, no, I don't want this. No, I don't want to engage myself with a promiscuous female. This is why men have a certain instinct, both cultural and biological, towards virgins. Is because they're like, at least I know the kid is mine. And it's an evolutionary nightmare for a man to discover that he's been cuckolded in his child being born. For a woman, the sexual economics to some degree on a biological level can say, look, this guy is sowing his wild oats every day, and this is only an evolutionary biological argument. This is on a biological level. Oh, he gets to put his seeds across to so many. I want him to put his seed with me, raise a kid with me. But even still, women literally took men and domesticated them into being pair bonds. As much as polygamy, as much as this attitude is evolutionary, in the same way the monogamous attitude is also evolutionary. Does that make sense, or have I over-explained this point? ब्रो आंखें बहुत हर्ट कर रही हैं क्या? डार्क मोड कैसे ऑन करते हैं इसमें? रुको, मैं डार्क मोड ऑन करता हूँ. रुको, डार्क मोड कैसे ऑन करते हैं? मैं डार्क मोड ऑन करता हूँ. डार्क मोड ऑन करता हूँ. अपीयरेंस सेम एज विंडोज, डार्क मोड डन है. लो, अबे यार इसमें डार्क मोड कैसे ऑन करें? डार्क थीम
But do you know
सॉलिड है. अब तुम्हें ढंग से दिखेगा. ओवर एक्सप्लेन. आई मे हैव ओवर एक्सप्लेन दिस. The point is that the evolutionary logic is not incorrect. It's been pushed too far to suit your agenda. Bhai, when evolutionary theorists consider whether humans are monogamous or polygamous, the answer is we cannot figure it out. We are capable of both. Really. And what has happened all throughout history, I don't want to get into that. It's just a bad
I think
argument.
it's because when
If I have a daughter, well, I do, and she turns 17, and she's like, Dad, I've got this boyfriend. He's a 33-year-old beach guitar player who makes money by playing guitar on the beach in California. I'll say, okay, cool. You love that guy? Good. Bye. Give me those car keys. Give me those Chanel handbags. Give me all that stuff I bought you. That's the guy who you've chosen to take care of you now. Good. Have fun being poor. And if you're happy, you're happy. You know, but you make it very clear that the choices that they make in men are the choices they're making for their future.
I don't know what I think about this. I mean, obviously मैंने कभी consider नहीं किया है कि मेरी बेटी होगी तो मैं क्या करूँगा. But I genuinely don't know what I think about this. There is sense in saying the choices you make for your men, for women, is how your future gets determined, vice versa for men and women. But I don't know what I think about this.
Andrew, I'm in hospital right now from a bike crash. I broke my back. I currently can't walk. I may not walk again. What would you guys do in my situation? I appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks.
That's terrible news. Find his YouTube. Let's contact him privately, and I want to verify that story. And if it's true, we're here to save you, brother. We're going to help you out.
Yeah, we're going to help you out. That's a true story. Life is like a game of chess. You can't take moves back. All you can do is look at the board you're in, look at the position you're in, and make the best moves possible. What you can't do is...
But look at the branding with the cigar. That's so cool, no? सो कूल नो. इन लोगों ने ब्रांड कर दिया. मैं भी कुछ ना 3-4 पार्टियों में गया हूँ ऑफ लेट. वहाँ मैंने देखे लड़के सिगार पीते हुए जिन्होंने कभी टाट की सिगार नहीं पी होगी, जिनके बस की नहीं है सिगार के धुएं को मुंह में दबा पाए. और फ्रैंकली मेरे को तो टेस्ट भी नहीं पसंद सिगार का. बट मैंने ऐसे लड़के देखे हैं जो ना इतने से लुल्ले से होके घूम रहे हैं यहाँ वहाँ, मुंह में सिगार दबा रखे, टॉप जी करते हुए. क्या ब्रांडिंग है ब्रो. एनीवे, दिस आई अप्रिशिएट.
A man's not even allowed to be a man in his own house. You know, in England, you will get accused of emotional abuse. I can marry a woman, not lay a hand on her. I can raise my voice at her.
I once sent my assistant to that cigar lounge to restock my humidor, and I gave her a list of 6.
Bro, if you apart from marketing, what is the reason for him to be worshipped? Genuinely curious as a man, bro. He's talking to the man in the world. And he's not doing the most horrible job at that. He's talking to the man in the world. And when I say the man in the world, it's not just men in the world. I said the man in the world. The men that even women inhabit. The masculine that exists even in women. He's talking about the approach where you happen to life. The difference between the masculine and the feminine. The masculine is the part of you that happens to life. The feminine is the part of you that lets life happen to you. This is utility. This is making things work. This is accepting things as they are. This is creating an unmovable object. Does that sound like Andrew Tate? Yes. This is becoming the unstoppable force. There's a difference. So he's talking to the man in the world, and he's doing a very good job. His delivery is quite nice. He can be convicted. There is a skill in communication called how do I say this? There is a skill in communication that deals with how convinced you are of yourself when you say something. And us level pe he scores a 10 on 10. You see my point? Maybe that's not a branding. I'm not saying that's a conscious branding move so that everybody in the world. I'm just saying, उससे branding हो गई ना bro. समझ रहे हो? उससे branding हो गई ना. उस sense में कह रहा हूँ. Brains नहीं है. The answer is not simply brains. It's also the method. There is a method to the way they communicate. Copyright तो पता ही है यार. कोई कह रहा है Prakhar is going to get cancelled by tomorrow. This is no longer 2022, my G. Leave that shitty attitude outside the door. ऐसे उठाओ अपने shitty attitude को और यूं फेंक दो. कर ली पूरी इंटरनेट ने कोशिश तुम्हारे भाई कैंसिल करनी. किसी की जोर नहीं है इतना. आज तक नहीं हुए. अभी भी नहीं होंगे. सच बोल रहे हैं. दिल से बोल रहे हैं. रीजनेबल होके बोल रहे हैं.
6 different types of cigar to get. She came back with 7 boxes. I look at the receipt, I was only charged for 6. So what happened is a new employee at the store, this box had been sitting on the table. She got mine, rung them up, put them on top of this box, and then bagged them all up and sent them away with my assistant. So I knew that they'd given me a free box of cigars. A few days later, I go into the cigar lounge, and I told the exact guy who we spoke to today, I said, my brother, count your Romeo and Juliet to short Churchills. I bet you're missing some. Yeah, we're missing 25. We're missing a full box. I said, you accidentally gave me that box of cigars. He went, so did you bring them back? I said, no, I'm smoking them at home, but please charge me for them. And he was like, you are asking me to charge you for cigars that no one knew that you had after they left this shop. And I was like, yeah, I don't want anyone getting in trouble on my behalf. I can afford my cigars, and I like you guys, and I like the staff here. Now you saw the way the guy treats me. Whisper in my ear, look.
This is charisma. This is actual good shit. This is actual good shit. Actual good shit. Actual good shit. Actual good shit. फ्री हो गया ये. लंगड़ा कैसे रहा है? अरे लंगड़ा मत भाई. इसमें मार लगाइए क्या? इसमें मार लगी है थोड़ी, मेरे को लग रहा है. हाँ, ग्रेटा थनबर्ग वाले पे आ रहा हूँ. मैंने तो सुना था रिमांड रिमूव में है ये भी. हो गया ये. Somebody's like, Tates are challenging you. You are looking confused. I'm not trying to level up to Tate. That's not the game I'm playing, boss. So you can take your... I'll remind this again. Take your bullshit attitude and... Okay? You leaving the Hustlers University is you living the Matrix. God damn. Am I being invaded by Andrew Tate fanboys? Is that what is happening? Achha, this seems to be an old video. Okay.
I want to get paid the same as a man.
Abey, Trump kahan pahunch gaye?
I don't understand why.
You know what? The more I watch it, the more I like Tristan over Andrew.
Why people pretend that abortion is something that it's not. This is what makes me sick about the pro-choice camp. I have just said that I don't think it should be illegal. I believe there are some cases where it's justifiable, even.
I like Tristan. Tristan sounds more level-headed. What color is your Bugatti is... this is also an interesting point, right? Like people bring this up about... When Andrew Tate says, what color is your Bugatti? It's the same thing as Osho saying, how many Rolls Royces do you have? It's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's that is the bait, my G. That is the bait. The women and the money is the bait. What is the offering? Hustlers University is a certified scam. They're going to rebrand it and they're going to keep it scammy. And I'm not saying this because everything like Hustlers University is a scam. It was investigated very deeply by Coffeezilla. Coffeezilla went very deep into it. Hassan Abi exposed the shit out of it. The bait is the other thing is, bro, not a lot of people have the privilege of actually growing up rich. Which is incidentally, I had friends with supercars when I was a young guy. Right? I sat in any car I've always wanted to sit in. I've driven around few of those, no problem. And it's just not interesting to me. So I have seen, I have been exposed and I've seen what those cars look like and it's not that interesting to me. And when you listen, that's why I don't think the elites bother with Andrew Tate. Because nobody bothers with supercars at that level in that way. Koi itni wo nahi hoti. Jo somebody who does not have, when they are asked what color is your Bugatti, they feel it. Because they know they cannot afford it. They know they're short on that. They know they will probably never match up to that. That's where this is exactly how you play on someone's insecurity. The other thing is women, right? And with women, what he does is not misogyny. It's weaponized misogyny. And it's not even weaponized misogyny. It's basically a confused tactic because he has so much content out, he can literally confuse you. I've seen him talk about Chian Reynolds on that date conversation, asked him, what is your favorite sex position? And he's like, this is not a godly conversation. Brings in God. Suddenly, I will not talk about this. Then on another podcast, he's like, when you cheat on a woman, let her know that you cheated on her. How's that godly? How's that godly at all? Why would you do that to her? Why would you put her through it? And then he's like, when she's like, wait, who were you with? Just be like, do you want to go for dinner or not? What the fuck? There is a reason. Here is what I think, okay, about Andrew's way of life, because I don't know Andrew particularly, at least Andrew's professed way of life. I don't buy into it. I don't buy into the way he talks about how men should treat women, because I don't see a woman his size next to him. I see him talk about women in a way where he's talking to women who have admitted they are smaller than him, because no woman that's equal to you would let you treat her like that. Any woman that's equal to you would never ever let you treat her like that, just like you would not let a woman that's equal to you treat you like that. It's as simple as that. It's as simple. Where is her self-respect? Right? If you are dating kids, and I mean mentally kids, not age-wise kids. If you're dating women with low self-esteem, if you're dating men with low self-esteem, you throw them around however you want. फिर तो automatically respect नहीं करोगे ना. फिर तो देख ले मैं cheat कर रहा हूँ तेरे पे. फिर तो तू है क्यों उसके साथ यार? फिर why are you with her? That's the point. Andrew's philosophy does not look like it's leading to a woman that's his size. It looks like it's a philosophy of going in loops with women that are not his size. And I don't think that's a fulfilled life overall. Maybe it is, maybe it is for some people. I just don't think that is the case for me. But why I need to make this point is so that people understand there is an alternative. The women and the cars are a bait. A woman asked me yesterday on my stream, she was like, as a woman, I feel very discouraged about how he talks about women and so on. One sec, let me fix my hair. I'm getting a little OCD about it. He talks about women and so on. And I know a lot of other women who were genuinely somewhat affected that their boyfriends were watching Andrew Tate content. To them, I'd like to say, what men need to be tended into is a more genuine brand of masculinity, not this toxic hyper masculinity. Just no. Just no. That's not how it is. अरे अब्दुल रहमान सही हम तो जाना है यहाँ से यार. क्या भाई यार, आई एम सो डिसअपॉइंटेड इन यू. मैं चैट में बैठ के लिख देता हूँ डिसअपॉइंटेड. देखो मैंने डिसअपॉइंटेड जाना. Does this make sense? Because there are two strands of things, okay? Never be with a woman that's too, like, if you want to be a monogamous relationship person, if you want to be somebody who has that style of life, don't be with someone that's smaller than you or too much bigger than you. You will never, वो कभी बनेगी नहीं बात. Either you will be, thrown around, treated like shit, or you will treat them like shit. Then everything is possible. On the other hand, if you are going for Andrew Tate's life, you will never find a woman that's equal your size or a man that's equal your size. You just never will find that. Because you're looking to treat them like shit, and the only people who would accept your shit is that kind of people. He has this very famous video where he's talking about some Indian woman. Look, I'll show you this, okay? This is very interesting. Let me show you this. He's talking about some Bollywood woman and how he treated her. Andrew Tate in India. उसकी एक वो वीडियो है ना, हाँ ठीक ये वाली वीडियो. इसको ध्यान से समझना. देखो कितनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड होती है रियलिटी ओवरऑल.
Bollywood girl, she's got 3 million followers. We're chilling in India, whatever happens, happens, and after our night together, she messages me.
Notice how he has to say whatever happens, happens. This is what I mean, bro. This is genuinely what I mean. Nobody in the world I know who sleeps with a lot of women has to say that. Like, nobody in the world who's rich has to show their cars off, bro. The truly rich want privacy more than anything else. The billionaires. Somebody explained this to me about first class tickets. Because I was saying, bro, हम तो economy fly करते हैं. बिजनेस के बाद कोई फर्स्ट क्लास में क्यों खर्चा करेगा, ब्रो? कोई क्यों खर्चा करेगा फर्स्ट क्लास में? ध्यान से समझना इस चीज को. ध्यान से समझना. Why would you want to spend so much money on first class? Right? This was my question. And I was like, चूतिए होते हैं, क्यों करते हैं? And then he told me, he's like, when you walk into a plane and you turn right to go towards economy, you cross business class and you go towards economy. You never cross first class. The truly rich travel in first class because they don't even want you around them. They don't want to be recognized. They don't want pictures. They don't want to be seen as being truly rich. And this is the same for being truly peaceful. This is the same for being truly content. This is the same for feeling truly sexually used. You don't talk about it. Like, if your sexuality is completely expressed, if you're having the best time meeting so many beautiful men and women or whatever you're into, you don't go around saying, "Arey, तेरे को पता है मैंने क्या किया कल." Every time a friend calls you up and says, "तेरे को पता है मैं कल इसके साथ था, इसके साथ थी," they want to process it. It's not settled in their heart. You don't go around calling people, "तेरे को पता है बहन मैंने राजमा खाया कल, bro, राजमा." You never say that, bro. Because it's so normal for you. That's what it means to be rich for a long time. And I'm not saying this out of experience. I'm not billionaire status. I travel economy, right? Or millionaire status for that matter. But the point is, when you're making 5,000 rupees a month, 3,000 is not news. This is what is interesting about him. The fact that he had to say that. This is why I think there is so much marketing involved with Andrew Tate. Anyway, let's continue watching. Okay, watch this.
You know what? I think you're a playboy, and I don't think you're the man for it. And I sat there and I burst out laughing to the phone. Tristan goes, "What's funny?" I said, "I just slept with Karishma, and this
Name drop bhi kar diya bhai ne.
must be her standard tactic with Indian guys." I'm supposed to reply, "Oh, what do you mean?" And then when she originally forgives me, and I convince her I'm a good guy, the whole relationship paradigm is fucked. So when she texts me that the next day, of course I just didn't.
बहुत ध्यान से समझो.
And then when she texts me again later, I knew I was right. Didn't reply. And then when she texts me the next day, you know what? Well, while you're here, maybe we should talk about it. I'm just judging you on your Instagram. I didn't reply. And I'm gonna have to try and find the message and put them on Twitter. But the next 3 days, I was running around Mumbai with Tristan, putting on my Instagram stories, having fun without her. And when she sent me that message, and I completely ignored her and didn't play her game. She had a full-on mental break.
Okay, so this is a good video to make a point out of. Sigma male background music. Yes, okay, so listen, look. What he's saying is somewhat correct and somewhat messed up, okay? Women will do things like this. That is the game that women have. Men have a different game. This is how women will indirectly elicit or will try and figure out where are you in this interaction. Because very often the way sexual dynamics and romantic dynamics move is too fast and too ambiguous. So she will ask you a question like this. And Indian girls are extremely good at it. Because they are taught from very early on to be conservative sexually. Right? They're taught to not be promiscuous. So they have all these boundaries. They have all these ways of ascertaining, is this the right guy for me? Because they're looking for a serious relationship. Okay? That is literally what she said, by the way. Now, it is also true that that can be a headache for men. Because you might be in a situation where you're like, okay, I don't know where this is going, right? So he's right in the way where a lot of men I know will watch this, be like, oh bro, यही तो करना था last time, यार मैं फंस गया, उसके trap में फंस गया, उसके game में फंस गया मैं, right? But also, that's just how women be, bro. When a woman's trying to find an equal, this is how she's going to play it. It's not something you ridicule her about. Yeah, she might not have had the emotional control afterwards when she found out you're not into her, sure. But that's how she will figure it out. She's trying. That's 2 points better than you. You know? That's what my thing is with something like an Andrew Tate. You see my point? Does this make sense? Who is Karishma here? Anyone knows? I don't know who Karishma is. But the general point is, one, name dropping I don't know about. Two, it's his insistence on mentioning whatever happens that really puts me off. कोई कह रहा है ऑल्ट बालाजी एक्ट्रेस है, अब तो तुम समझ लो ना देन फिर तो तुम समझ गए ना, लाइक देन इट मेक्स सो मच सेंस. ही इज नॉट लुकिंग फॉर his philosophy is not the day Andrew Tate has a woman that matches his size is the day I'm going to be like, okay, let's listen to what he has to say about women. Maybe not even then, क्योंकि वो stooge हो सकती है at this point, the media scale that he's operating on. भाई यार प्रखर इज एल, मैं मान लेता हूँ भाई प्रखर इज एल. Women don't choose equals, bro. Let's just put it like women status सिर्फ status level पे equal नहीं choose करती, और वो भी public status. Because internally होता क्या है, as soon as you're with a woman, your status equalizes in private. Elon Musk की बीवी भी उसकी लेती है, इसकी जो बीवी होगी ना वो भी इसकी लेगी, ठीक है? ये यूनिवर्सल है. तेरे पापा की बीवी भी उनकी लेती है, तू किसी को भी देख ले, मोदी जी की तो है नहीं, वरना उनको भी वहां से उंगल होती. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता मेरे भाई. एक वो याद है वीडियो, एक वो डॉक्टर था जिसकी बीवी ने उसकी लाइव इंस्टाग्राम लाइव पे ले ली थी, ब्रो. क्योंकि द होल पॉइंट इज यू आर लुकिंग फॉर अ पार्टनर, ब्रो. द बेडरॉक ऑफ अ गुड रिलेशनशिप इज पार्टनरशिप. इफ यू आर नॉट लुकिंग फॉर अ पार्टनरशिप, इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर एन आई कैंडी, तो ठीक है, देन प्ले इट योर एंड्रू टेट शिट. बट the women and the cars are a distraction. That's not a top G move. That's a distraction. That's a bait. That's the shiny object that gets you going, oh my God. Because sex sells like nothing else. And shiny objects mean sex in the animal world. Here is an evolutionary theory for you. Shiny objects for apes means sex. And cars are great at that. Cars even make the kind of sound that's kind of sexy. That's what is up, man. हाँ बोल ले एल चूतिए. एक डेढ़ तो बोलेंगे ही भाई, एक डेढ़ तो बोलेंगे ही. क्या एंड्रू कसाना आ गया क्या चैट में? Basically you talking about Dan Bilzerian. Even Dan Bilzerian does not mention how many women he sleeps with. If you listen to, actually, you know what, that's a good idea. I remember he spoke about this somewhere. Dan Bilzerian women podcast. He spoke about what Dan Bilzerian Yira. I think this is it.
If you could teach guys like one thing or two things.
This used to be one of my favorite podcasts back in the day. Then Brian Rosemantel left.
About women, what would it be? What would you tell them?
Don't chase. Don't chase. And don't be afraid of rejection. You know.
देख रहा है किस तरीके से आदमी, ये आदमी, इसकी शक्ल देखो इस भयानक आदमी की, जो सिर्फ औरतों के चक्कर में फेमस हुआ है जीवन में, जो सिर्फ औरतें दिखा दिखा के फेमस हुआ है बिकिनी में पूरे जीवन में. उसका एटीट्यूड देखो व्हेन ही टॉक्स अबाउट वुमेन. ये वही आदमी है दरिंदा जिसको पूरी दुनिया एक टाइम पे हेट करती थी क्योंकि एंड्रू टेट की तरह ढंग से मैस्कुलिनिटी की बात नहीं कर रहा था. वेट होल्ड अप, लुक एट हिम टॉक अबाउट वुमेन. दिस इज अ मैन हु हैज abundance, one can say, you know, he sleeps around in that way, if that is what you're interested in life. But look at him talk about it. He's so casual, bro.
Don't be afraid of rejection. I guess, like, my strategy.
Look, Sampa Bhattacharya says it doesn't matter, bro. I listen to the person who knows the Matrix more than you, bro. Andrew Tate is literally the Matrix in one way.
College would be, every time I would see a hot girl, I'd just go up and talk to her. I didn't care if it was in a fucking grocery store, if it was in a library, like if I saw a girl that I found attractive, I would just go talk to her. And I wouldn't go up and say, oh, I think you're beautiful and all that cheesy bullshit. I would just go talk to her about whatever. Like, didn't matter. Just have a conversation with her. See where it went, you know? Sometimes it didn't go anywhere. Sometimes they wouldn't want to give you the time.
He's kind of, this I feel is kind of a lie. Look at him, itch in his
Have
ear.
a conversation.
Oh, मेरे को अपने चेहरे पे कुछ टच करना पड़ेगा अचानक इस बारे में बात करते हुए. Fishy, fishy, bro. Body language, fishy.
Sometimes you'd have a casual conversation, lead nowhere. But at the end of the day, because I did that, it would just make me more comfortable talking to girls. And it was just kind of a numbers game. So I had, you know, pretty
ये अच्छा idea है कि बंदा कह रहा है L मतलब legend. हाँ भाई ठीक है legend है सही है.
great success. And, you know, I always use the example of my one buddy who was like real conservative, who would only talk to a girl that he...
What do women mean by connection spark on dates? There is too many things, but what she means is you're not exciting enough, which means you're not dynamic enough, which means you do not take lead on things in an idiosyncratically you way. Because look, तुम्हारे प्रेफरेंसेस तो अलाइन हो जाएंगे, पहले खुद तो हो जा, उसके चक्कर में फिट होने के चक्कर में इतना ब्लंट नाइफ बन चुका है, कहीं से भी कुछ मैं ऐसे ना कर दूं उसको बुरा ना लग जाए, मैं ऐसे ना कर दूं वो बुरा ना मान जाए. इफ यू आर नॉट ट्रूली योरसेल्फ इन अ मोर, लेट्स से, अनअपोलोजेटिक वे, the one thing I will give Andrew Tate is that he's completely unapologetic. In fact, I learned that from him. I learned how to be more unapologetic on the internet, how to disclaim myself less and be more to the point from Andrew Tate. Here is what I'll give you. He's a trust fund kid. I know Beluja, he's a trust fund kid. I don't respect Dan Bilzerian. I'm just trying to show you what true abundance looks like. So, what Andrew Tate is for sure is that he's very convinced of what he's saying and he's doing a brilliant job at saying that. Okay? And so, this connection and this spark is essentially the preference is a simple word, but let's say the personalities of you aligning, but for that your personality has to be seen properly and the personality has to somewhat be that of a person that can offer protection, which means it has to be somewhat of a person that takes a lead. So, हम एक डेट पे बैठे हैं, I'm like, what do you want to order? पनीर टिक्का खा सकते हैं, ये मैं बोलता हूँ, ठीक है. एंड शी इज लाइक, नहीं मेरे को पनीर नहीं पसंद. हाँ पनीर तो बेकार होता है. कहाँ से मिलेगी तुम्हें औरत भाई फिर अटेंशन देने वाली, जब तुम इतना नहीं बोल सकते कि तुम्हें पनीर टिक्का खाना पसंद है. बोल भाई तू जो ऑर्डर करना है कर, मैं पनीर टिक्का ऑर्डर करता हूँ. अगर तेरे को पनीर से एलर्जी है तो मैं पनीर टिक्का ऑर्डर नहीं करूँगा. आई एम नॉट आस्किंग यू टू बी इनकंसिडरेट ऑफ हर, दैट्स व्हाई आई एम मेकिंग दिस पॉइंट. व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज पुट योरसेल्फ ऑन द टेबल, डूड. So when that happens and you put yourself on the table and she puts herself on the table, if then the stars align in a certain way, she'll find the spark. That's what it means. If then you are somewhat similar, because you can be on a date with a woman, or you know, a woman can be on a date with a man, and you'll find you've become yourself completely. I'm being myself. I like this intellectual nonsense, right? For instance, with Prakhar, right? She's not into that. Fine, just did not work out. That's fine. At that point also there is no spark. But for that, first पहले दरवाजे से बाहर निकलो, खुद को टेबल पे तो डाल भाई. पनीर टिक्का gang, ladies and gentlemen, 2023 with that पनीर टिक्का gang jive. Let's go, पनीर टिक्का gang. हाँ, we'll watch more Andrew reels, bro. कहीं नहीं जा रहा, यहीं बैठा हूँ, खाली हूँ मैं. You see my point? That's the issue. And okay, now think about Andrew Tate on a date. If a woman's like, listen, I don't like when you eat chicken. I want you to be more vegan. What do you think he says? He's like, तू होना vegan? बेकार की बात मत कर. And I'm not asking you to be inconsiderate. Guys, I'm very aware that you're young. And I don't want you to think कि मैं inconsiderate हूँ. बदतमीजी नहीं सिखा रहा तुम्हें. I'm telling you, just be yourself. Be gently yourself, but be yourself. When you are not yourself, तो connection का कोई scope ही नहीं है. What it means when a woman says there is no connection, etc., is that you've molded your personality too hard to fit into what you think she wants. And you don't even know her, you just met her. You have no idea what she wants, but you are trying so hard to be liked, to just slightly be accepted. And that's going nowhere, my G. That's going nowhere. Okay, I'll play Tristan talking to his wife. पनीर टिक्का गैंग ओपी बेबी, पनीर टिक्का गैंग ओपी. अच्छा मेरे को पानी पी के आना है, कितनी देर वेट करोगे? मेरे को लगता है विनम्र भी आया, उसे हेलो करके आ रहा हूँ, वो भी यहीं है ऑफिस में. एंड्रू विल से ठीक है, किस ट्यूसडे पे करेंगे सिर्फ. राइट राशिद, व्हाट अ वैलिड पॉइंट. इज लाइक एंड्रू विल से ठीक है फिर किस ट्यूसडे पे करेंगे, अपने कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. 1 मिनट पानी भर के आ रहा हूँ, रुके रहना, ठीक है, आ रहा हूँ. Just give me a little sec. भाई आओ तुम्हें टॉप जी से मिलाता हूँ रियल टॉप जी भाई रियल टॉप जी वूवी ग्रूवी रियल टॉप जी इन द हाउस लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन
रियल टॉप जी विद हेयर
रियल टॉप जी ये है रियल टॉप जी तुम साले उसको क्या असली टॉप जी नकली टॉप जी कर रहे हो भाई तू ये सोच मैं पानी भरने गया वॉचिंग भी नहीं गिरी
ओ वाह भाई
यही तो बात है असली क्योंकि ये एंड्रू टेट का पुल है मेरा टेल
देख लैटिन बनिए कह रहा था रुपए
लैटिन बनिए नहीं और भाई क्या लिख रहे हैं मुठ क्यों कह रहे हो भाई ये क्यों चलने लगा अंदर अबे भाई पानी भर के लाया हूँ बदतमीज लोगों
देखो मैं तूने मेरा 15 सेकंड्स ऑफ फेम वाला मोमेंट दे दिया
कोई बात नहीं जियो मेरे लाल हाँ भाई वापस आ गए हम इसको दरवाजा बंद कर दियो प्लीज ब्रो सुमित रॉय इन द चैट इज सुमित रॉय इन द चैट भाई वेप नहीं कर रही भाई बंद कर दी वेपिंग यार इंडिया में तो वैसे भी नहीं करता मैं भाई कोई कह रहा है भाई बीजेपी कब ज्वाइन करता है सब संगी तेरे को भगवान मानते हैं भाई हमें तो कोई नहीं मिला आज तक संगी भाई जो हमें भगवान मानता है अबे पी के दिखा देते हैं दारू थोड़ी है कोई लैटिन बनिए मैंने ही तो इजाद की है वाह ओके आगे करें बात भाई वो गूगल डॉक वाला लिंक छोड़ दो भाई उस पर लव यू प्रखर लिखा हुआ है इन्होंने भाई क्या चल रहा है भाई पता है गूगल ने मैं हटा रहा हूँ रुको मैं हटा रहा हूँ हटा दिया नहीं हुआ वो हाँ रिएक्ट टू थिंकर्स लाइक डेरिडा और ओशो रिएक्ट ब्रो इफ यू गाइज थिंक very honestly if you guys think right now Andrew Tate is anything lesser than a Derrida or an Osho in this present cultural moment you're not looking closely enough my bro you're not looking closely enough I think Andrew Tate is as relevant as these guys not only because he's a thinker in certain ways he is definitely a thinker in certain ways but also because he's such a phenomena it's unignorable if there are two counts on which you should judge a thinker one is what they say and the other is say XY axis right how important is what they say and then what is the popularity of what they say Andrew does very well on the X axis way better than any of the others so yeah but we will do that more and more bro who do you think is the Indian equivalent of Andrew Tate Raghuram Andrew Tate is literally Gora Raghuram जो बच्चे बचपन में रोडीज देखते थे इस बात से रिलेट मारते हो लिख के बता दो मेरी गारंटी है दैट्स बेसिकली रघुराम गंजों का एक ही काम है लोगों को भड़काना भाई मिसोजनी वर्ड का ज्यादा यूज मत करो लक्ष्य आ जाएगा चैट में नहीं आएगा भाई लक्ष्य और मेरी मिसोजनी को लेके पूरी बात हो गई है let's see what Tristan says about his wife I'm very interested Tristan Tate wife oh is this failed marriage huh emergency meeting oh shit wait hold up which one is this see this is I think this is actually you know what no fuck this shit no I'm not going to glorify Andrew Tate cheating on women
so we hit the 9K yeah so the people want to hear the story
Shut you all in chat yeah it's an interesting story so pretty much I was sitting around having some drinks with these guys back before he lost his voice and he asked me oh, so you ever been engaged would you ever propose to a woman I said well I actually did once because okay, well, how did it go? What happened to the wedding? Did you ever get married? And it's a very, very unusual story, but I think I don't know if I made her life better or worse, or if I made mine better or worse, but it was a very unusual play, I decided. So it was a very complicated story. So what happened was this. When I was 19, there was this really beautiful girl. She lived in Slovakia. I dated her a bit at 19. I simply did not have the finance to continue the relationship because I couldn't afford to go to her town and see her. So many years later, as I come up in the world, I get in touch with a bunch of people who I used to know. This girl's still very beautiful. She's still stunning. She's living in Dubai. She's working as a cabin crew. Before anyone asks. So in Dubai, if they're working as cabin crew or in a retail store, good. If they're there influencing, be careful. So this girl's working as cabin crew in Dubai. And I meet her when I went there for the first arm surgery. And, you know, I take her out for dinner. That's it. Nothing happens between us. And I found myself missing her. I think, oh, man, I can't wait to go back and see that girl again. She's a really wonderful girl. And I just knew from the get-go that it was never going to work out. I mean, she's now had fucking 10 years since I last saw her. She was still a very good-looking girl, but I knew it wasn't the kind of girl I was probably going to end up marrying or getting out or ending up being with for a very long time. So I think both of us knew, me especially, that whatever relationship we formed was going to be temporary. So knowing that it was going to be temporary, and there's nothing wrong with getting into something that you know is going to be temporary if you're going to enjoy it at the time, I thought, how can I squeeze the most juice out of this and make it as beautiful and as memorable as possible? Because it's probably going to end
See, this is... Okay, you know what? I'll
tears
hold
one
this.
way or another. Because I don't live in Dubai. You know, she's cabin crew. She's always flying all around the world. She's never going to come to Romania. She doesn't speak the language here. So I'm drinking one night with a few friends of mine. Shout out to Boris. Shout out to Shooter. And I walk past on my way back from the bathroom this jewelry store inside of this hotel. So this was I hadn't slept with this girl in 10 years. I hadn't had sex with this girl in over 10 years. This was our second date. I'd only just got back. It was my first day there. And I saw her and I'd been kissing her and it was all the old feelings were coming back. So shit, I think, you know what? Fuck it. So I buy this engagement ring. It cost me $3,000 something. Before anyone starts saying simp, and I'm going to say again, fair.
ये आया ना पॉइंट भाई, आदमी को अपने दिल के प्यार को भी डिफेंड करना पड़ रहा है इंटरनेट पे क्योंकि बकचोदी इतनी बेच चुका है भाई. A1 देख रहे हो, आदमी कह रहा है बिफोर एनीबडी स्टार्ट्स कॉलिंग मी सिंप, ब्रो हु द फक केयर्स? इफ यू लाइक अ वुमन, यू लाइक अ वुमन, डूड. Shit, the image, man, the image comes in the way. The Tate brothers have spent so long building it. And by the way, this from inside the industry, let me tell you, from inside the influencer industry, this is not just their problem. So many men have built their careers around how they approach dating in women in so many different ways that they have a hard time in their personal life dating or being public with their relationship because the image, bro, the image. This is what is interesting.
Fair exchange of value. I got my fucking share of value, and also not bragging. $3,000 to me is like, it's zero. Like it's a third of the price of a night out. So think about it that way. So I buy this beautiful diamond ring, and we're sitting there with all my friends drinking champagne.
This is kind of getting boring, guys. Does anybody know if this gets better, or should I just go back to watching reels? Sorry, bro, not this. Tristan on his current girlfriend who she has a girl with. Bro, how the fuck? Look, I'll tell you about it, okay? Let's talk about masculinity for a second and a half because this is important, all right? I'm going to talk about masculinity for a second and a half because this is important. I'm going to resize myself and place myself literally right here so you can look at this. And here's a few things you need to know. It's very real that men don't get to express their pain. It's fucking real that men are not allowed to feel emotion. The world will not let them do that. It's so real that men lack the slightest amount of encouragement and instruction in their life. It is very real that the world in its force, because of technology, because of the way politics operates and such, feminizes men. And that's an actual complication. And then on top of that, there is all this literal bullshit around, oh, men should express their feelings, oh, men should cry. Look, there is a time and place that men are allotted to cry, and it's brief, and sometimes men don't even know that they're allowed to do that. They don't have the support system. They don't have loving mothers and loving fathers. They don't have friends who stand by them. They have acquaintances. They have people who are predatory on them. I understand. That part I get. I get that. In fact, so many times when you're a real man, which I don't consider myself really a man yet. I'm all of 26. In a certain way, I still have people backing me. I still have the support of bigger men behind me. I'm not the last man in the fight for myself, right? There is, well, for one, my brother, right? I have an older brother who's always behind me. I am not the last man in that chain of things. I'm not standing behind everybody like your father standing behind your family. And there's nobody behind your father. As far as my work organization is considered, right? As far as my company is considered, I'm the last man. I'm the last fighter. And I had to prove it when shit came my way. And I had no time to cry. I had no time to weep. I had no time to be weak. There was no place. And that's the problem with people saying, oh, men should cry. Sometimes you just don't have the fucking time to cry. There is no way as a man, when you are the solution, the last resort, when you are the ender of bad times, when you are supposed to put things back in order, you have no time for yourself. That is what it means to be a man, to put other things before yourself. That is the complication. And I understand, first of all. But where is courage in owning up to your shit? People expect people to be characters. This is what the Tate brothers understand. And so they're characters for the internet. They have no weakness, they have no insecurity, they have no emotion. They can't love a woman. That's simpy. No shit. Before anybody says that was simpish behavior. When real shit comes your way, as a man, you don't have the time to sit around. I get that part. But where is the courage in owning up to the fact that shit is coming your way? Can you not say a woman swept me off my feet and I was stupid for the next 5 minutes when I bought a $3,000 ring for her? Because I thought for a minute and a half I loved the shit out of her. There's a difference. I understand men are not allowed to feel in public. I get it. Right? I've seen it myself. I've lived through it. Okay? In some small little way, there are bigger disasters than mine. I've lived through it. But come on, bro. Like, don't teach men not to express their shit. Don't teach men to express their shit wherever the fuck they want. Don't teach that to men. Because that's going to backfire very quickly. That's going to backfire before they even know, and they won't be able to understand, and then they'll blame the women, they'll blame their friends, they'll blame their family. My father's narcissistic, my friends are assholes. They'll say all of that shit. But don't teach men that they cannot say that they feel, particularly when it comes to love, particularly when it comes to romantic love, particularly when it comes to love with the other sex. Because the whole point of the woman, the whole point of beauty is to sweep you off your feet, is to make you feel awe, bro. When you look at a beautiful scenery, I don't know if you ever had the privilege of standing at the edge of a mountain, looking at some of the most beautiful landscape unfurl in front of you. I've been lucky in that way, I've seen it. When you see that, the global feminine, the spirit of earth, like the Greeks called Raya, like the Hindus called Mother Nature, है? जिस तरीके से हम लोग treat करते हैं nature को as mother, as the provider. When you look at that, you're supposed to be swept off your feet. And you're supposed to do dumb shit. You're supposed to be like, whoa. And that's not masculine enough. Where is the courage in owning up to that? How do you integrate the feminine and the masculine in you? That is the real problem. The real problem is not fixing masculinity. नहीं भाई मेरा breakup नहीं हुआ है. I'm just telling you how things be, bro. I know Jordan Peterson probably has a different philosophy on this. क्या आई बात समझ में? चलो अब पूरी वीडियो देख लेते हैं. 2-2.5 मिनट की रह गई है. इसके बाद इसका हिंदुइज्म वाला देखते हैं ना. 1 मिनट, मेरे एक दोस्त का फोन आया है. मैं उसको ये तो बता दूं वो टॉप जी नहीं है. 2 बार फोन आया. रुक जाओ. मांगो साले टॉप जी बन जा. बॉटम जी साले. बॉटम जी साले. टॉप जी बन जा. सुन, अमन को फोन कर ले बस. अमन घर को. बॉटम जी. तू बॉटम जी है बस. तेरे को ये बताने के लिए फोन किया था भाई. किससे भाई? नहीं भाई. भाई नहीं. कह रहा सोशल डायनामिक्स से बाहर क्यों? नहीं भाई, स्ट्रीम पे था एंड्रू टेट की ना, रिएक्शन स्ट्रीम कर रहा. तेरा फोन आ गया तो मैं सोचा फोन करके गाली दे दूं 2-4. भाई 1500 लोग कह रहे ये हेलो हाय. मैं नाम नहीं बता रहा तेरा किसी को, क्योंकि लोगों को पता लग जाएगा बॉटम जी कौन है. चल ओके भाई, बाद में बात करेंगे, ठीक है. मैं स्ट्रीम से फ्री होकर तेरे को फोन करता हूँ. तू अरे फोन ही काट दिया इसने. बॉटम जी नहीं है ये, मीडियम जी है. आई टेक इट बैक. मीडियम जी, आई लव यू ब्रो. बहुत सही दोस्त है मेरा ये. I love him a lot. In the same way Andrew loves Tristan. Okay, let's go watch.
Reminiscing about old times, we're sitting on the beach, and I pull out this ring, and I ask her to marry me. The waitress goes crazy, everyone goes crazy. My friends are shocked. They have no idea what I'm
Also,
doing.
really, हम लोग ना, we come from a very pragmatic culture when it comes to getting married, and it's so funny to me every time, like, तेरे को पता नहीं था क्या, तुमने बात नहीं करी थी क्या शादी करने को लेके, इतनी क्या सरप्राइज हो रही हो मैडम, लाइक वेयर इज द प्रैग्मेटिक देयर. हम लोग क्या तो मतलब पापा मम्मी बात करते हैं ना, हम भी क्या बात करते हैं. तो फॉर मी एवरी टाइम समबडी इज लाइक ओह माय गॉश, आई एम लाइक तुम्हें भाई लिटरली मेरे ना इंस्टाग्राम स्टोरी पे मेरे कैसे थोड़े अपिश अमीर दोस्तों के यहाँ किसी के यहाँ भी शादी हुई, ठीक है, सबको पता था सगाई है 3 दिन बाद, उसने रिंग क्या खोल दी, पूरा घर ओ माय गॉश, सबको पता तो है. क्या एक्टिंग कर रहे हो भाई, क्या एक्टिंग भाई. मैं पता है लिटरली एक रिएक्शन स्ट्रीम करना चाहता हूं उन लॉन्डो पे जो ऐसे नहीं करते, एक सरप्राइज ऐसे क्रिएट कर देते हैं, विल यू मैरी मी, रोजेस से लिखा होता है, पीछे लाइटें जली होती है, पीछे बीच होता है गोवा की ट्रिप पे, फिर वो एकदम ऐसे प्रपोज करते हैं, उसकी फोटो खिंचवाने के लिए एक कैंडिड फोटोग्राफर और एक नॉर्मल फोटोग्राफर वहां पहले से खड़ा होता है, एंड द गर्ल्स लाइक दिस इज द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल मोमेंट ऑफ माई लाइफ. तेरे को पता कैसे नहीं चला? हाउ डिड यू नॉट फिगर दिस आउट डूड? How did you not figure this out? Like, this was so obvious, my bro. This was so obvious. How did you not figure it out that he's going to propose? Like, play some poker. I don't know. You should know what the other person's going to do. You play some chess. It is so obvious कि वो तेरे को अलग से ले जा रहा है, कह रहा है आज मैं तुम्हें बताऊंगा नहीं, मैं तुम्हें सरप्राइज डिनर पे ले जा रहा हूँ. सरप्राइज डिनर है, सरप्राइज. Just count, ladies. Just count backwards. क्यों ले जा रहा है सरप्राइज डिनर पे गोवा लाके मेरे को, हैं साले कुत्ते, काके दे ढाबा का बटर चिकन खिला खिला के तूने मेरे को मोटा किया है, आज तेरे को क्या सरप्राइज डिनर पे ले जाना है गोवा में? और ये कौन सी गली है पंजिम की, हैं? वरना तो तू वैगेटोर से निकले ना, वरना तो तू कैंडोलिम आसा गांव से निकले ना हमारे विला से. आज क्या तेरे को हो रहा है? प्रपोज कर रहा है वो तुम्हें, लेडीज, प्रपोज कर रहा है वो तुम्हें. काउंट बैकवर्ड्स, मेक द मूव, अंडरस्टैंड.
They've never seen this kind of move before. And the look on her face, her eyes lit up, and she said, you know what, Tristan, you were always the one for me. Yes, I will marry you. I put the ring on her finger. Now, it ended in tears, as I knew it always would. But let me tell you something. That night is a night. That was her peak happiness. In her whole 30 years or 31 years that she's been alive. I don't know how old she is exactly. I should know that. I've been engaged to her. But I don't. But let me tell you, that night was her peak happiness. I brought so much joy into her life. She had never been so happy. Now, the sex that we had that night and for the week and the 10, 12 days that the engagement lasted after that, the places I took her, you know, wearing that ring proudly on her finger, it was going to last 2 weeks anyway. But it was a magical 12 weeks.
This is something I never understand about, what's it called? Western culture. इतने दीवाने हो जाते हैं हमारी शादी हो रही है, हमारे यहाँ तो शादी, अबे भाई शादी हो रही है. लाइक ये तो दीवाने हो जाते हैं भाई. मेरे को इसका हिंदुइज्म वाला वो देखने दो, हिंदुइज्म वाला क्या सीन है. Mayank Bhattacharya has made a full thing about this, and Andrew Tate is wrong about India, and it is my problem. Mayank Bhattacharya, what's up Mayank, how you doing? Guys, is this too real? Oh what? ये सालों ने, ओ भाई ये तो भाई, अब जब गैंगस्टर फिलोसोफर ने सबकी ले लिया तो फिर हम क्या कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे? हमें तो घर चले जाना चाहिए भाई. ये कौन सी रील है बे? ये कौन सी रील है? Have you heard of Andrew Tate?
He has a brilliant strategy to be everywhere.
And there is a man of this nature once in a while that rises up. There is many variations of this. I am only finding out what I think about him in the past now.
It's a repackaging. We've seen 2017, 2018 में जिस तरह के, we've seen several male influencers like that.
जो वो hyper masculinity की बात करते हैं. And they're cashing in on the same vulnerable instinct, which is that of repression. That society has repressed so much in you. Now come my way, which is the right way. As opposed
ये reels
to
और shorts का masculinity coach है.
कि दुनिया इतनी गलत है कि the only resolve is my way. They always sell you on what. Fuck yeah, bro. Good job, Prakhar. What the red pill? The red pill becomes black pill one day, it becomes white pill one day, you don't realize, but it's never the blue pill. So it's always breaking the matrix. That is the structural format of those ideas. Very cool. I'm proud of this. Proud of this. Andrew Tate सुन के आदमी को realize ही होता है, अरे मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ. But whether his ideas are good or not is a second question. One has to be careful. Like
otherwise you become a soldier just espousing these idols without ever thinking about मेरे साथ हो क्या रहा है.
Good edit also, Vinamra. But let's see what he has to say about India. कहाँ है वो जो हिंदुइज्म वाली वीडियो थी, वो कहाँ पे है? Nah, I'm not going to react to anything by Shwetab Gangwar, bro. Fuck that. We are watching Prakhar. We are watching Prakhar reacting to Andrew, watching Prakhar reacting to Andrew. we are in infinity universe. Nah, I'm not going to watch anything Shwetab said, dude. No way. He can't handle it. Let's see what Mayank has to say. It's a 16-minute video. Shit. Okay, let's see. I've never seen any of Mayank's content.
Do you think India suffered? Do you think India is in a worse place now than it would have been if it was never colonized by the British? Now, I'm not saying the British didn't kill people. I'm not saying they were completely fair, but also the world was a different place back then. Nowhere was fair. If the British didn't turn up to India in the 1800s, then the Indians would have been killing the Indians. People just killed each other. That's how it worked, right? Do you think India would be in a better place today if it was never colonized by the British?
Whoa. Shit.
Alright, so this is not a geopolitical channel, and I'm least interested in talking about world economics, history, and my undying love for the motherland like Subhash Chandra Bose. You see, my way of expressing the love and the affection and the passion I have for my motherland is very different, and I choose to stick by it. And honestly, for this channel, since I do have a sizable amount of international viewers, I wouldn't even care calling myself an Indian, because I honestly believe I'm a global citizen. I don't belong anywhere, yet I belong.
Okay, this is not my style. Can't watch this. There's too much fluff in there. I'm looking for ideas right now. No offense to either Mayank or anyone else for that matter.
They are not.
Hey, I think all the time, but I cannot articulate or express my emotion like you do. How to improve on that? Please explain. I think for now, all I can offer you is write, read, talk, listen. Like, go through the process of proper human communication. Be careful with how you say stuff. Don't be quick to be certain. Don't be impatient to express yourself. Don't have the need to be heard consistently. Just focus on placing one word after the other. And look, तेरे को पहले तो इनपुट चाहिए ना, तो तू सुनेगा और तू पढ़ेगा, और फिर तेरे को आउटपुट की प्रैक्टिस करनी है, तो तू लिखेगा और बोलेगा, and eventually you'll get somewhere. Bro, Vinamr Jha, of course, I was like, bro, मेरे को, like, I've spoken to Mayank a couple of times. I've never really seen Mayank's content, and like I said, I have nothing against Mayank, but that is the kind of video I do not really watch on YouTube. There's too many disclaimers going into it. As far as what Andrew's point is, I don't even know what that point was from the question, but would India have been better if the British had not come here? Who the fuck can say what better means in that question? And who the hell can say what it would have meant if the British did not come here? But what my preference is, I wish the British had not come here, for fucking sure. That's the simple answer to that question. In Andrew Tate's language. Do you think Peterson has gone off the rails in certain ways? His Twitter's just... Oh my God, Jordan. But I get it, bro. उस बंदे ने जो देखा है ना, पता है आजकल ना मेरे को लगता नहीं है जैसे DSM VSM होता है ना, डायग्नोस्टिक स्टैटिस्टिकल मैनुअल साइकोलॉजिकल डिसऑर्डर्स का जहाँ पे लिस्ट बनता है. I don't think they include post-cancellation trauma, PCT, but it's a real thing. I know so many people, because of what happened to me on the internet, so many people reached out to me, and I've heard so many stories of how people are fucked forever after that. In their minds. You think तुम लोगों को उनका बुरा होना किस सेंस में वो बुरे हैं वो फील करा रहे हो? नहीं ब्रो, तुम उनको उनकी सोल डैमेज कर रहे हो एक सेंस में. और मैं, if I was a weaker man, it would have been me. Let me put it like this. And then Jordan Peterson's faced that so many goddamn times. No wonder he's angry. Thank you so much, Sudhir. एंड्रू टेट सुसाइड पे इसके कोई व्यूज़ हैं क्या अलग से? देखते हैं क्या कर रहा है एंड्रू टेट ऑन सुसाइड. भाई गाना ही आ गया सुसाइड. शॉर्ट्स में देखूंगा भाई, only shorts.
I recently bought a very expensive car. Too expensive. I'm an idiot. I bought a Bugatti, and when I was at the Bugatti dinner, everyone else there was either daddy's money or oil money, right? and they had no respect for anything. Like to me, it was a massive deal. Because they'd never ever been poor, they had no respect for it. So it's kind of like you can be a working class man and sit down with a cup of tea at the end of the day, and you'll enjoy that cup of tea more than this oil billionaire will enjoy his $5 million car. Because they have no respect for anything. So if you don't respect something, you can't value anything. If you don't value anything, you can't be happy. It's kind of like if you're in a car traveling at 100 miles an hour, it doesn't feel fast, right? But when you're accelerating to 100, it feels fast. That's how life works. It's not about being in a particular place. It's about getting there. That's the only part that's fun. Being there is whatever. So if you're born with it, then I think life can be kind of sad. So yeah, I'm super happy I grew up broke and rooted on free. I recently.
Well, is this ये वाली वीडियो कह रहे थे सुसाइड वाली? वो नीचे वो गाड़ी जो चल रही है ब्रो, क्या इरिटेटिंग गाड़ी है साली. सुसाइड पे की डिप्रेशन पे भाई ऐसे ही सुपर चैट ट्राई करना था. थैंक यू सो मच. तूने उसके लिए मेरे को 100 रुपये दे दिए, इसमें से 60 यूट्यूब काट लेगा. हाँ भाई बताओ कौन सी वाली? Of course, no respect for human trafficking money. Yashraj Zala with that burn, bro. Burn, bro, burn. Oh, bro, ये जो घटिया वैन जो गाड़ी वाला एडिट है, तुम्हें पता है ये कौन एडिट बनाता है? You know that, right? कि इसका स्कैम क्या है? ये अपने हसलर्स यूनिवर्सिटी में लोगों को बुला के बोलता है ये एडिट कर करके डालो ऑनलाइन, तुम्हें $5 मिलेंगे फॉर एवरी पर्सन यू कन्वर्ट इनटू हसलर्स यूनिवर्सिटी. You know that, right? वो लिटरली ये जो एडिट जिस बंदे ने किया है, कोबी बोबी जो है ना, ये कोबी बोबी, इसको पता है इसको इससे पैसे और व्यूज मिलेंगे और कुछ नहीं भाई. और कुछ नहीं. डिप्रेशन पे है भाई. यूपीआई क्यों मेंशन कर दूं भाई? भाई घंटा नहीं यार, घंटा नहीं कर रहा मैं अभी, और किसी चीज पे रिएक्ट नहीं कर रहा मैं. ओके, लेट्स टॉक अबाउट एंड्रू टेट एंड डिप्रेशन. शॉर्ट है कि फुल है? हैं? आओ देखते तो मैं क्या कह रहा है.
Depression is an evolutionary mindset we've evolved to stop us from living lives that are shit. Stop us from just sitting around doing nothing. Otherwise, we wouldn't do shit with ourselves. I can sleep here, I can eat mangoes, I'm going to just stay here for 8 years.
Depression. Okay. Lovely that the man mentions evolution and depression. One of the ideas behind depression and evolution, which the most common form of depression is postpartum depression. So when people talk about depression, they're usually talking about depressive episodes, which are short spells where life feels colorless, or MDD, which is major depressive disorder, which is a proper disorder where you're prone to being depressed, or BPD, bipolar disorder, where you swing between manic and depressive very often. And then the most common form is PPD, which is postpartum depression. And postpartum depression happens to women right after they've given birth to babies. And then evolutionary psychologists begin to question, what is the need in biology? What is the evolutionary need? What is the EEA, the evolutionary adaptive environment? The EEA is the term that theorists use for the environment that shaped certain features. What was happening in the past such that women were supposed to be depressed after they'd given birth to babies? They should be so happy. And the idea is that depression makes you more realistic about the world. It puts you more in sync with the dangers of the world. And the world is a dangerous place. And that's why women have to be sort of depressed so that they're not distracted by the color in their environment and they can focus on keeping the baby alive. Because back in the day in EEA, women were giving birth to kids in not hospitals, but extremely difficult circumstances. Really tough circumstances. So, that's where we'll begin. Second video देखूं? Wait, second video देखने को कह रहे हो? ये वाली है. अच्छा,
You take two people, one believes in ghosts and one doesn't. You put them both in haunted houses. And in the middle of the night, there's a bang. The person who believes in ghosts is now terrified. There's a ghost, they're calling an exorcist, they're panicking in the room, they're hiding. The person who doesn't believe in ghosts goes wind and goes back to sleep. It's the same noise, it's the same scenario, but it's the belief that's in their mind that terror and ruins their life. It's the belief in their mind that turns against them. And I've said this many times. I don't even give a shit about right and wrong. I refuse to believe in things that take my power away from me. I'm only going to construct a mental model that allows me to be as powerful as possible. If believing in the idea of
So one of the interesting things about this is that the highest value that he ascribes to is power. Right? This is what has unconsciously slipped out of Andrew Tate's mind when he says that. That the number one most important thing for him is golden apple. The thing that means the most to the guy is power. Now you have to ask yourself the question, is that who you want to be? And the Western world will kind of design you to be that way because power is literally the realist currency in the Western in the Western world and hence to some degree in India. Now, number two, it's complicated to talk about depression because there is a certain amount of population, and I don't know how huge that is, that wants to believe they have depression so they don't have to go out and do shit. It's real. To them, this message is great because the stark reminder, अब क्या करें है तो depression, पड़े रहें क्या, बैठे रहें क्या, मरवा लें अपनी या कुछ करें अब, right? And then there's a certain kind of people who are not allowed to feel depressed when they're going through it, who have no way of recognizing it. And for someone who's had one depressive episode, it took me quite a little, like मेरे को 2-3 हफ्ते तो ये समझने में लग गए थे कि मेरे साथ हो क्या रहा है. So to say depression is equal to ghosts is one. एक extremist argument है. इतना extreme है that I can work with it. मैं इतनी कोई problem नहीं ले रहा इस argument के साथ as opposed to some of the other shit he says. But two, it's not completely accurate. Three, it might be helpful in 20 to 70% of the people that hear it. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is the problem of depression discourse goes both ways. There's a certain people who is not depressed who wants to feel depressed so that they don't do real shit, or they're depressed for so long but they're not picking themselves up and doing real shit. There's a certain people who are depressed and have no way of identifying it, no normalcy around accepting it. And life is not linear. It's not this or that. It goes through both. First you have to accept it. Okay, अब ये है, ठीक है, okay. Not losing patience. I'm still top G. I'm still down to figure things out. Slowly work from it and then get out of it. But without one, there is no two. So only talking about two is causing repression. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. ये बात समझ में आई? Does this make sense? ये बात समझ में आई कि नहीं आई? चैट लिख के बताओ ये बात समझ में आई कि नहीं आई? This is Osho's playbook, by the way. Sex and money solves problems. This is Osho's playbook, not in a way where I'm not comparing Osho to this man, but I'm just telling you this is how this industry works. Fourth video. अबे 8 मिनट बकर करेगा सेम ही बात यार. अच्छा पियर्स मॉर्गन वाली, हाँ ये देख लेते हैं.
Well, let me explain why. If someone comes to me and says I'm clinically depressed or I feel very, very sad, I would say the first thing you need to do is stop accepting the identity of a clinically depressed person. Stop accepting you have no control over this. And what you need to do is stop identifying that way and let's work together to try and fight against it.
There isn't an eminent doctor in the world who would tell you there is no such thing as clinical depression. Who would not tell you that some people it's simply beyond their control.
Johann Hari wrote a book saying exactly that. Well, let me explain why.
Johann Harari is not a doctor. As much as I love him. You all know Harari. It's not Johann. The other thing is, my bro, he's right about it. Okay, अब तू है डिप्रेस्ड, बैठे रहना है क्या? अब तू है गरीब, बैठे रहना है क्या? What happens to the world is your masculine instinct. So are you going to take up your masculine or what? Or are you going to sit in your feminine forever? कोई कह रहा है watch Slay Point please. Nah bro, I'm good. I'm good bro. I just miss her, man. I overthink about her when she's with a guy and that mentally tortures me. I want to get out of this so bad. Prakhar. Okay. Transform yourself. Get up immediately tomorrow. The first thing you do is you do things that are not you. You go to the gym. You change your body. I'm going to talk like Andrew Tate. Go to the gym. Change your body. Go read some nice shit that makes you smarter. Go make some money. Figure that shit out. And watch how the objects of your past fade away because they're no longer as interesting to the new you. You need a transformation of self. That's how you get over this shit. and stop thinking about her with other guys. What the hell is this? A self-torturing machine? Is your brain working against you? Is this why you cultivated this? Shouldn't you be meditating? Shouldn't you be doing better with your mind? I understand the pain, but it's not useful. Move on. With his thing with Greta Thunberg, wait. Now this is, okay, actually, you know what? Andrew Tate Twitter. Let's look at Andrew Tate's Twitter. And Cobra Tate. Cobra Tate. मैं Cobra Tate हूँ. Please, मेरे को Cobra रहने दो. Okay, first of all, bro, what the hell was this video? We'll start with where this needs to begin. Oh, he deleted it. Okay. ये देखो. ठीक है? The guy picked up a fight with, what's his name? Logan Paul? Okay, whatever. Makes sense. Why the fuck would you pick a fight with a choti bachchi? Literally. He picked a fight with a choti bachchi. How disgraceful of you to pick a fight with somebody who's younger than you and cannot fight you in this. Look, I'm not fond of Greta Thunberg. I think Greta Thunberg, in her own way, is like, क्या दुनिया कर रही थी यार, एक ऑटिस्टिक 15-16 साल की लड़की के गुस्से को ग्लोरीफाई करके अपने आप को खुश फील करा रहे थे हम जब उसका वो निकला था, वो पूरा क्लाइमेट एंगर. वी वर मेकिंग अ हीरो आउट ऑफ. It was not the right person to make a hero out of. What we were doing is like, ओहो हम कितने खुश हैं, हमारी अगली जनरेशन क्लाइमेट का ध्यान रख रही है, अब हमें कुछ नहीं करना पड़ेगा. We were setting off our own bullshit in our head by looking at Greta Thunberg get uncontrollably angry in front of world leaders. I'm not a big fan of Greta Thunberg. That's not the point here. I'm not trying to defend Greta Thunberg. I have nothing to do with her. I don't even know how old she is now. Right? But this, picking up a fight with a woman who's half your age, like this, was a bad PR move. It was simply a bad PR move. That's not what men do, by the way. This is not what men do. Men don't do this. He took a fight with the agent of the Matrix. Bro, I hope you guys are being ironical about it, bro. But look, okay. This is not the greatest clapback. This is not the greatest comeback in the history of people. But the point is that this is yet the fight is made to lose. Andrew, you're going to lose this fight no matter what. I'm surprised a man who's so good with marketing messed this up. You're going to lose this fight no matter what she says. She has to be too funny, just 2 points funny to defeat you completely. Because इस fight में public में लोग छोटे के साथ ही जाएंगे. The world who does not care about you at large is going to. It even says autistic climate change activist born at 375p. Bro, shit. Anyway, I won't say what I have to say about this. But this was a bad idea. And see what he did from here. ये जो escalation थी, इतनी टट्टी escalation.
Greenhouse gases. I'm obviously a stranger to online controversy. It's not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange.
You see, like, ऐसा नहीं है कि जो ये बोल रहा है, अगर ये सेम चीज़ ये ना लोगन पॉल को बोल रहा होता ना, सब हंस रहे होते. बट अभी हम देख रहे हैं जब तू एक 19 साल की बच्ची की लेने की कोशिश कर रहा है एक वीडियो बना के ऑन अ ट्वीट, शी हैड 2 lines in. It's not the funniest thing. You don't have to hinge on it. It's not a good joke. We all know it's not that funny. You gave it too much importance by making a video out of it. इसमें कोई क्या
I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled. Thank you. So I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed.
और ये देख यार.
These boxes are not recycled.
क्यों excessive, bro? Extra hard.
So I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed.
अबे भाई वो भाई इसकी एक फाइटर के सामने तो वो बच्ची है प्लस वो ऑटिस्टिक है भाई. वो कह रहा है एडल्ट है मेरे को पता है बट वो यार ब्रो तू भी तो बच्चा है यार. तू सोच यार तेरे पापा की उम्र का आदमी तेरे से ऐसे पंगे लेने लगे यार. तू क्या बात कर रहा है ब्रो.
Slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has sat her down and convinced her to try and convince you to beg your government to tax
साहिल एजी भाई यहाँ नहीं बैठे. एजी भाई के गए हुए हैं.
you into poverty to stop the sun from being hot.
ये ना basically what I think Andrew Tate was trying to do by picking up a fight with Greta Thunberg is add more things to his arsenal. तो क्या होता है अगर तुम्हें ऑनलाइन पर्सोना बनना है, पहले तुम्हारा एक पोलराइजिंग ओपिनियन है जिसके अराउंड तुम 500-600 लोग बांध लोगे, क्योंकि तुम वो 25 बार बोलोगे ना तो वो लोग आ जाएंगे तुम्हारे पास. ठीक है, अब वो आ गए. अब तुम धीमे धीमे एक नया ऐड करोगे, एक नया ऐड करोगे, एक नया ऐड करोगे. तो तुम यू विल सी दिस विद गाइज हु डू न्यूट्रिशन एंड वेलनेस. ठीक है, कुछ होंगे जो बिल्कुल वीगन होंगे, कुछ होंगे जो बिल्कुल कीटो और कार्निवोर साइड होंगे. वो पहले वो डाल लेंगे गड्ढे. ठीक है, कुछ होंगे यू फाइंड दिस ऑन दी वेस्टर्न इंटरनेट क्वाइट अ लॉट. ठीक है, पहले डाल लिया लिवर किंग परफेक्ट एग्जांपल. नहीं लिवर 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 लिवर. उसके बाद सप्लीमेंट्स, उसके बाद सन, उसके बाद ये, उसके बाद ट्रेडिशनल लाइफस्टाइल, बाल नहीं कटवाने. धीमे धीमे करके ऐड करते रहते. तो ये ना यहाँ क्लाइमेट अपने रेpertoire में ऐड कर रहा था, अपने आर्सेनल में, और इसकी ना लग गई इस चक्कर में. इसकी लग गई इस चक्कर में. बट ये देख, सो लुक एट men go through so much pain that they will never talk about it because they know that nobody cares. Now read this tweet, and then I saw something about that Talib had posted about him. Look. So Talib posted about, this is the screenshot. Can you read it yourself or have a literate friend help you? Do you feel like a failure that the amount you need to help your own son is less than a quarter that I spent on one of my 5 cars now? Are you helping men feel their pain? Huh? This is what I mean. This is what pisses me off about Andrew Tate. I can go over the series of great shit he said and applaud him like I did in the beginning. But what the fuck? कौन बोलता है यार ऐसे? इफ इट्स नथिंग टू मी, योर कॉमिक बुक्स हैव फेल्ड बट आई एम अ सक्सेस, आस्क नाइसली, आई विल सेव योर सन. मैन, दैट्स नॉट बीइंग अ मैन, लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन. दिस इज हिज ह्यूमर. व्हाट द हेल आर यू ब्रो? तुम क्या बोल रहे हो यार? एक तरफ तू बोल रहा है आदमी अपना दर्द महसूस नहीं कर सकता, वो कोशिश कर रहा है अपने बच्चे के लिए फंड रेज करने की, और तुम इस तरीके, इफ दिस इज रियल, बिकॉज हु नोज व्हाट इज रियल एंड व्हाट इज नॉट इन द वर्ल्ड एनी मोर. बट कम ऑन ब्रो, कम ऑन ब्रो. Has no way to treat a person, bro. Has no way to treat a person. I don't hate him, bro. I don't hate him. I don't hate him. Well, okay. You know what? Let's articulate 3 reasons why I hate Andrew Tate. Call me the Raj Shamani of YouTube now. 3 reasons. 1, he weaponizes his treatment towards women and his relationship with God for marketing, which I think is completely unacceptable. 2, most of the things that he says in that department are so deeply contradictory, it just does not. Actually, you know what? I don't have 3 reasons. 1 is enough. Fuck that shit. I might have OCD and I think it's stopping me from reaching my potential. Next 2 months are very crucial career-wise. Don't know if I should focus on mental health. Also, what if parents panic? Good. It's a testing time. I understand next 2 months are very crucial for your career. Hold tight. Fort hold karna hai abhi, bro. Mard banna hai abhi. We have to deal with your OCD, also have to manage your career, both at the same time. And I understand that parents might panic. Try to have a reasonable conversation with them. Sit them down and be like, hey, listen, there are 2 fronts on which I'm fighting. Career and a possible OCD, and I need your help. How do we go about doing this? Bring them into your team. Form a war room. And then slowly take things forward from there. होता है, नहीं होता कुछ नहीं, कोई और मिलेगी चीज़, आराम कर. It's okay. If the world does not align with you, वो जाकिर की एक लाइन थी, कहता है अगर तुम्हारी मर्जी नहीं होती तो समझ लेना कि उनकी मर्जी होती है. क्या Joe Rogan asking PG Radio? कहाँ है Joe Rogan भाई चैट में? किसका नाम है Joe Rogan? So he got caught because of the pizza box. The reason I'm not commenting on this is because I'm waiting for more information to come out. It just sounds like too stupid a thing to happen. So I'm a little like, I'm not sure. We'll wait for that to happen. ये मुनावर की लाइन है. मैंने जाकिर को बोलते सुनी है ये लाइन. सुपर चैट वाला ही Joe Rogan है. See, also, koi keh raha hai, I want a Joe Rogan and Tate conversation. I think there is a reason why it's not happened. Like, there is no way Joe Rogan would not have had him on. Actually, you know what? Here's an interesting part. Here is something interesting we can do. Wait. I remember, by the way, this song, bro. This is my favorite song these days. It's called The Center Will Not Hold. Okay, let's look up Lex Friedman, Andrew Tate. I think he's spoken about him. I want to hear what the Botes sisters have to say about that. This is interesting. I've never seen this before.
Let me ask your opinion since you mentioned him, Andrew Tate. You're both women, successful women. You're both creators. So Andrew Tate is an example of somebody that has become exceptionally successful at galvanizing public attention. But he's also, from many perspectives, a misogynist. So let me ask a personal question. Do you think I should talk to him on this podcast? How would you feel as a fan? Somebody, I'm talking to the great Alex and Andrea Botes, and the next episode is with Andrew Tate.
I think it's a double-edged sword, and most of these things are not as black and white as they seem. Because on one hand, I don't agree with his beliefs, and I think he said a lot of things that are very hurtful and that influence people's opinions. At the same time, talking to someone through that and trying to get to the root of it and how much of it he used just as a social media tactic to maybe change the opinion of people who have been so influenced by him towards something that is maybe more understanding towards women or things like that could do some good. But at the same time, platforming someone like that and giving them more attention also signals to other people who have a platform that it's okay. So it's kind of weighing the pluses and the minuses. It's a very tough decision because it's not clear.
And the thing about the internet, when you make the wrong decision, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, personally, and it is funny. Like, I think the whole way.
Lex, I love Lex. But in any case, I remember, I think here he's talking about why he. Whoa, what the hell? Jordan Peterson goes full psycho. Oh, Andrew Tate calls out Lex Friedman.
Sparkling water pool. Write that down. We're going to do that one.
Andrew, do you know who Lex Friedman is?
Yes, I know.
Do you think you're ever going to do a podcast with him? As Mustafa GG just said that?
Lex Friedman, initially, when I was getting canceled, he's mentioned me quite a few times, and he's kind of shifted from don't want to talk to me to asking people subtly if he should talk to me, because I think he's afraid of just biting the bullet. Who was a G was Patrick Bet-David. PBD didn't care what nobody said. When they canceled me, he didn't care what anybody said. He said, I'm coming to talk to Tate. He came to Madrid. We met in Madrid, and we spoke. He is a real gangster. Lex is trying to feel it out. Now he knows he'd be fine to talk to me. I'll talk to him, but, and I'll keep in mind that he was still hesitant. You cannot be afraid of the mob, Lex. Use your mind and brain. What are you, a coward? Who cares what they say? Sit down and talk to me. It's my ideas. It's not your ideas, Lex. You can just sit there and challenge my ideas. You can be a voice for the Matrix if you so choose. But yeah, I'll be on.
Well, in all fairness, it is not easy. It is not easy talking to somebody like him. It's not easy to talk to Donald Trump. It's the same playbook. It's not easy. The rules are dictated by him in that conversation in a certain way where the terminology is his. And if I'm having you on, I'm not here to destroy you, right? And there is a reason why I think Joe Rogan and the likes have not spoken to Andrew. It's the same reason. It's because people can see through the social media tactic. Okay, guys, I think we've streamed long enough. यार थक गया मैं भी भैंचो एंड्रू टेट देख के. थोड़ी देर वैसे ही चिल कर लो फिर जा रहा हूँ मैं. अच्छा तुम में से जितने लोगों को सब्सक्राइब तो कर ही लिया होगा तुमने. I already said my opinion on Talib's latest tweet about Lex. I kind of agree. Dude, that's not masculine at all. Making fun of somebody while the child suffers is not masculine. Picking up fights with little girls is not masculine. That's not masculine. That's the problem. Treating women the way he espouses women should be treated is not masculine. Where is the nobility? Where is the nobility? गाना सुनना है? Okay. यार कॉपीराइट ना आ जाए बस. रुको. डांस करके निकलेंगे. ठीक है. Solomon, I love you, and I'm only playing this because I love you. Please don't strike my copy. This is such a good stream. I've had so much fun. क्या बात कर रहे हो? कॉपीराइट क्लेम आएगा ना, स्ट्राइक नहीं आना चाहिए. कोई कह रहा है एपिलेप्सी आ सॉन्ग. ब्रो नहीं समझोगे तुम, रैप वाले बच्चे हो, तुम्हें नहीं समझ आएगा. तुम छोड़ दो, तुम्हें नहीं सुना रहा मैं अपने अच्छे गाने और बर्बाद कर रहा अपने अच्छे गाने तुम पे. हट, मैं नहीं सुना रहा तुम्हें. भाड़ में जाओ सालो, हटो. टट्टी सॉन्ग, चल हट साले. भाई मेरे को यार तुम लोग, I think India is deeply into rap in that way, at least the YouTube population. They don't appreciate techno as much, so no more techno for you guys. But this, I think, is a techno G song. This is top G in techno by G's. More news on the Eric Weinstein podcast soon, but for now, I am going to take a good night from you guys. It's already 12. It has been an absolute fucking pleasure doing this for you. I will be back tomorrow, by the way. We're doing on popular demand with questions. You can post those questions on my Twitter or on my Instagram. We'll take up those questions and we'll chat a lot tomorrow. I know I have a very interesting taste in music. Thank you so much, Sudhir, for saying that. Lyrical genius. Yes. There is no lyrics in that music, bro. The whole thing is you invent the lyrics. You come up with what you feel with this song. I'm not going to tell you that. That's the power of music that does not